Acknowledge me.
You just made the list.
I am the wwenxt.
I'm better than you, and you know it. Damn.
Welcome back to Down Under the Map podcast here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. To my left, Mr. Daniel Danielson. To my right, Ready Reece. I am Booker Ted. We have just finished watching Clash at the Castle. Yes, we're a bit late, but we were not getting up at 4 a.m. Also because these boys were still in Sydney from their whirlwind trip of going to PWA. I'm sure you guys will probably talk about it at some point, but we're here to talk about Clash at the Castle. So
we're not talking about it now?
another time. No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's a great show.
Right.
Fantastic.
Ted's the boss. Got to listen to Teddles over here.
Booker Ted's book.
I think you guys should record a whole nother episode about PWA.
Oh,
I
it's a
think
lot
it
of
deserves
effort,
it.
we could do it.
We could. There were the rope snap.
Oh,
Yeah, look,
I
there
can't
was,
wait to hear more about that.
there was some highlights. There was some
Yeah.
great chants. There was some really good wrestling. We saw 2 Canadian destroyers, which was exciting for me to see.
And
For-
one
for-
of
for
them
a
finished a match.
pretty clutch. Yeah.
For Australian wrestling, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that PWA show was great.
Great.
I
Good
can't
guns.
wait to hear
Good
more
guns.
about it from you boys.
I can't
seriously.
wait till you
I
go
wanna
to
be able
World
to
Series
one.
Wrestling in 2 weeks.
Dude, that's
Yes.
it's so close. I can't wait. But we're here to talk about Clash of the Castle. I'm brewed out. It's nearly done. Scotland!
Way to lose us viewers, dude.
Is what?
Oh, hey.
What, man? What's wrong with Scotland?
You know the best thing from Scotland, right?
Own brew?
No.
Bagpipes?
No.
Haggis?
It actually didn't show up at Clash at the Castle, and everyone was sort of hoping it did.
Who?
Oh, the guy,
what
if you
happens?
say his name and then he appears.
Oh.
I believe in Joe Hendry. He maybe appears sometime.
He's
I don't know when.
infiltrated the set, ladies and gentlemen. Just
He's
Just
there
so you're
looking
aware.
over my shoulder. So, Clash of the Castle, we've just finished watching it. Awesome. PLE.
Great.
Yeah? I think
yes.
we all agree it
Had
was
an absolute
quite
blast.
entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pull up the Wikipedia for the match times.
Oh,
and
I
stuff
see.
for us.
Look,
Yeah,
I'm not
nothing
gonna-
super
Good man.
exciting.
Yeah,
Professional.
look, I'm not going to lie. After the whirlwind weekend, I was kind of like,
All
it's
wrestled
going to be
out.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just really tired. Just like
Yeah.
me. I'm an old man. I stay up late.
I did keep it
This weekend.
You stayed up 2 nights past midnight, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's late for
jeez,
me.
look at you
It's
guys.
late for me.
Yeah.
I'm the
Party
old
animal
man.
race.
So I was very tired this morning. And on the way home, I was just like, "Ugh. It's going to be okay. I
Yeah.
got blown out of the park, man. This was such an entertaining pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It was
Absolutely
fun.
loved
It was a
It was
whole
very
lot of
good.
fun.
And again, they've got their pacing right, the amount of matches, the time. Yeah, in terms of that, it was, again, perfectly done. I think they've really nailed it down now to how they do these PLEs, especially
Absolutely.
the ones overseas.
Yes.
There was really, I mean, I know we skipped through a little bit in terms of ads and stuff because obviously we were watching it not live. So, but even with the ads fitted in, I still think it would have. The
Pacing was really good.
But I think it was you. I can't remember. One of you didn't believe me when I said that it was going to be the first match, if not the last match, to start off Clash of the
Oh, no,
Castle.
I agree with you. It's gonna
Oh,
be
okay.
first.
I was the one
You-
who was shitting on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody,
an I Quit match goes on first.
That's so stupid.
because if you're not on last, you're on first, man. As you said, he's the champion. So, well, he's not the champion. He's the champion.
That's it's
Damien's the
different
champion.
match.
But anyway, we started off Clash of the Castle with Cody defending his title against AJ Styles in the I Quit match. I'm going to put it straight out there before I ask you gentlemen what you thought, because number one, I already said this to you guys before we came on. It was my least favorite match of the whole PLE, and I was not very happy with the finish. That was my takeaway from it.
Out of all the matches that we watched, I unfortunately would probably rank that as like 5 out of 5.
Oh, is it like the fifth?
Yeah, yeah.
The bottom.
Yeah.
And that
Not a 5-star match. Like
no,
they
no,
had last
no.
week.
It was the fifth
confusing with
match,
the terminology
and
there.
if I'm rating all the matches 1
just
through 5,
clarify.
that's unfortunately the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
But I feel like and that's why I said last week I didn't think it was going to open the show because it's an I Quit match. I expected a little more.
Yeah.
I got my hopes up, and I feel like the ending seemed a little like quick out of nowhere, and it really like took the breath out of it for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree with that. I think that the problem that I had with this match, there was some really good spots in it, and it was pretty well wrestled.
Yep.
But there was a few too many things that were telegraphed.
Yeah.
Lockie watched this match with us, and the point where so the first thing that I thought was super telegraphed was when Cody had his entrance and walked up and hugged his mum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Straight away, we're like, okay, his mum's involved in this story. The second
I don't
thing,
mind that part of it. It's then if it actually pays off. That's,
yeah, and
you know,
like her slapping AJ and stuff, it's fine. I didn't think it was needed,
Didn't do much
right?
in the story.
The other thing that Lockie noticed was that when they went outside the first time and AJ went to yell at his mum, and they went back and Cody was bleeding, Lockie said, "Oh, Cody bladed when the camera was off him."
yeah, so even
So
Lockie's picking up
an
on it.
11-year-old boy was like, "Oh, he bladed then."
It's because he's been listening to us Marks talk about it, man. That's the only reason he
we have
knows.
tainted that child.
That's the only reason he knows. Otherwise, he would never have known. He, you know, if he hadn't heard us talk, he'd be like, "Oh no, Cody's bleeding. Oh, my hero."
Oh. But yeah, a couple of the matches, the spots in the match were really good. I think, like you said, Ted, that we're surprised that it's taken so long for them to have a match together because they have really good chemistry in the ring. Like,
they
AJ
really
and
do.
Cody
They
are
really do.
really good in the ring together. How long do you boys think this match went for?
It felt like a long
14.
time.
14 minutes.
14 minutes? Yeah, Ted, your
I'll
guess?
go with 18.
27 minutes, 45 seconds.
Yeah, it was a long match. There was a lot of lying around. There was a lot of lying around.
The awkward thing, and we said
I don't
this,
think it felt that long.
it didn't feel that long, but nearly half an hour.
And that's from when the bell rings too. That's not
Yep,
even
that's
including
match
the
time.
introductions. and-
okay. Not such a bad match after all.
The
though.
awkward thing that we said, and I think maybe producer Morgan, maybe this was her first time watching an I Quit match live with us, saying how the referee has to carry the microphone around. And he keeps going up to them and, "Hey, Cody, what do you say?"
It's a bit awkward.
No.
Yeah.
Hell no, brother.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
That's my least favorite part of an I Quit match is how
Yeah.
awkward those no's have to be.
They're always just odd.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the production of WWE and the quality of their storytelling, when AJ quit, we all knew he quit.
Yeah.
We didn't need a referee with a microphone there being like,
Yeah,
"You quit?"
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we knew AJ, when I quit, like, that's it, we're done.
What's wrong with them doing like a tap? Because that's also quitting. Why
Yes.
couldn't they just tap?
Well, that's a good point.
He could just go, "I quit," and yell at it, and then everyone would have
Yeah.
known. I just don't like the trope with the microphone.
Yeah,
It sort
true.
of makes those matches too awkward for me.
Yeah.
But in
Agreed.
general, obviously, we all thought Cody was going to win and retain.
Yes.
I
I
kind of
thought it
wanted
was going to be a draw.
You were hoping for
Yeah,
it.
you and your
I was
draw,
wrong.
man.
I was wrong.
It was never happening.
I was wrong.
I agree. Like when you threw that idea out, I was like, that would be a really interesting thing to drag this out a little longer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
They've
Never
obviously
gonna
got
do that.
they've
It's an
obviously
I Quit
got something
match,
else
like-
coming for Cody, and I think we've seen you mentioned before that AJ's going to wrestle elsewhere.
yes,
So maybe that's why
he's been
this
announced
has
for a
ended like
Noah
this,
show
so,
over in
yeah.
Japan.
When's that?
Yes.
It's okay. So
I didn't quite get that many
Sometime-
details. We were
Yes.
doing too much Clash at the Castle research.
Yeah.
Didn't quite
Dude,
take
that
out
was a
that many
perfect
details.
political answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
When is that? Yes.
I think
it's happening.
The clear, obviously, direction post this match now is maybe AJ goes away for a little bit.
Yeah.
Does this Noah thing, and Cody is now going to feud with the Bloodline. We saw this post match with the beatdown.
Yeah.
Solo showed up.
I think it's going to be the 6-man tag is going to be at Money in the Bank for sure.
Yes.
And then does that maybe lead to your SummerSlam match for Cody? Solo versus Cody. Is that something we're interested in?
Yeah.
Or Randy versus Cody. I reckon it gets to Randy and Cody at some point, but I just don't know how they weave it there.
Yeah,
Are they going to rush
yeah.
that in the next 6 weeks though?
So, what's SummerSlam?
Because it's like 6.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, not quite 6-7 weeks till SummerSlam.
At the moment, the way that the WWE's pay-per-view schedule is it is about 3 weeks between
Yeah, well,
shows.
it's 3 weeks to Money in the Bank now.
Yeah, so it's probably long after that.
I think
to
sometimes it's
SummerSlam.
3, sometimes it's 4, because obviously the different amount of
Yeah.
days in a month.
Yeah.
But-
I think that's too short of a turnaround to turn Randy and do a proper feud between those two. So that's probably not the SummerSlam match, but maybe it's
And like
Solo.
that's the thing. If we do get that 6-man tag at Money in the Bank, do we have someone come back? Do we have people
Yeah.
debut? Does that lead to something at SummerSlam then? But
What
there's a
if-
lot of potential because I've heard a lot of rumors.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of articles saying that Roman's due back sometime this month.
Did you see
if
a
not
photo of him
next
the other
month.
day?
No, I haven't.
There was a photo of him just at a gym with someone, and he looked jacked. Like he looks proper big. Like he's gone on that
Okay.
AJ Styles diet again. Like he's
nice.
he's big.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going to come back at some point.
He's going to get a mad pop when he comes back.
A lot of
Yeah.
the talk and rumors now, and I think this is leading to the match later on with someone retaining their title because we all predicted that maybe Sami Zayn would win Money in the Bank in Montreal. That'd be a great story, but it might not happen now. the other key favourite that everyone keeps talking about to win the Money in the Bank is Jey Uso. What would happen if maybe you say you have Cody and Solo for a title match, Solo unexpectedly wins, and someone cashes in on Solo? Do you reckon that's maybe the way?
No, I think
Don't even put that into the universe.
I just did,
let's
damn it.
let's leave that for a predictions video in the future because I think that's going
Several
bit off
months down
track.
the track.
But I think obviously the
Go
most
home and
important
slap a cactus.
the most important thing that came out of this match, obviously, what happened post match with the attack from Bloodline on Cody and Randy and KO
make
coming
the
out
save.
to help. And I think was it you that pointed out that why is Randy in his wrestling gear when he's not even wrestling? Because he was full on just ready to wrestle. Like it was
Well,
weird.
because he also
Mate, he's just on that grind. He's that sort of beast.
on SmackDown, because he was obviously a surprise savior for them on the SmackDown as well during the same, essentially the same Beatdown album. Was he in his ring gear on SmackDown too?
Yep. Pretty sure he
was.
was.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
weird.
Because he wasn't.
He's just always ready for a match, mate.
I mean,
He's always ready
it's
to go.
summer over there,
Mate,
right? So the
he's a
weather must be
veteran.
okay. He's just getting around
In
and being like,
Scotland?
yeah. Well, it's winter here, so it's the other side of the world.
also, to
it
be
must be
fair-
summer.
Well, you know what? It's probably the same temperature up there as it is down here.
Poor
Yeah,
Scotland.
I mean,
You're probably
to be
not
fair,
right.
if I had the body of Randy Orton, I'd walk around in my undies the whole time anyway too. So.
Yeah.
Look, yeah,
Fair point.
definitely my least favorite match. The ending was a bit meh, and then also the fact that Cody hit him after the bell. I was thinking, is this a
Oh,
mad
with the
heel
stairs.
turn coming?
Because his mum told him to.
Yeah, which is a bit odd.
Got to listen to your ma.
So the next match, now this one actually got us hook, line, and sinker. This was the triple threat tag team match. We had Isla Dawn and Alba Fire.
The Unholy Union.
Yes.
Unholy Union versus Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler
Yep.
versus the tag team champions of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair.
I will give WWE their flowers, I
Yeah.
will say, for
Props. Well done.
It was a good match.
pulling a swerve.
And what was interesting, and I can't really remember it because my memory is shit anyway, but the fact that they actually had a triple threat tag match
Yeah,
where
that's what
all
I said.
three teams were out and doing proper tag. It wasn't just like a
Yeah.
Correct.
tornado tag or two people in and you can tag whoever.
I mean, it did get to that stage at one point because that
Of course.
happens with every tag.
Yeah.
course.
I kind of feel like I think it was an NXT triple threat not long ago where they had that
Yeah,
the right way
I
around.
think so.
Or maybe it was on SmackDown or something. But then like the next week they did a fatal 4-way for the men's tag titles and it was two teams and everyone else in the ring and I was like, oh, they ruined it.
Yeah.
I much prefer this kind of if you're doing a tag match with triple threat,
I think-
it should be three of you at the same time. Otherwise it's not a
Yeah.
triple
And they
threat.
did it
It's,
well.
it's a tag match.
Yeah, I think with the fatal 4-way tag matches, it can get a bit much having so many people on the apron and only having two people in the ring. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good idea for them to start moving towards that. sort
Having
of
the
thing.
four
so you can
people,
have teams work in their own corner and
yeah.
Because
I think it'll work a lot better than
I
just having
always
two
find it
people in the ring.
weird in those tag matches where like I'm tagging with somebody else and then Ted
tag
tags me
someone
from
else in.
behind. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I think that's a shit spot. I don't like it.
I find it
boring.
kind of
Like
funny.
I think it's run its course a little bit. But yeah, back to the women's match. Like that was absolutely
Well, what they
spectacular.
did very well with this match was that we had Bianca showing off her amazing athletic skills at the start.
Yes, lots of flips.
Then we had Jade, whose ring gear was absolutely sick, and her
makeup
face paint
looked
and the hair
fantastic.
looked awesome. I think it's the best she's looked of any of her ring gear. Yep. Which is saying something because she hasn't looked bad in any of it at
Exactly.
all. What I loved about this was they really, really sucked us in hook, line, and sinker because Jade did
got us
the strong spots with Zoe Stark, and I can't remember which of the Unholy Union was on there,
I
but
think it was Isla.
It was Isla Dawn.
the Samoan drop plus fall away slam at the same time.
Immense. And then doing the double power out when
Yep.
Alba Fire and Zoe Stark
They both
her
had
in
her,
the,
yep.
in the
And I thought the other part to that was good was when the Bianca and Jade started dominating, the other four on the outside went, hey,
Got together.
let's sort this
Made
shit
sense.
out.
took him out of the match.
Yeah.
And it was logical.
It made sense, man, because they were smashing them, and the only chance we're going to have is if we take Jade out. We've
Yeah.
all got to team up and take her out.
Yeah.
And
Which
then
happened.
That was a good way of doing it because obviously we've talked before about other triple threat matches where one person just happens to roll away and lie there after one drop kick. But this was different because she was attacked by multiple people.
Yeah.
And it actually made sense that she was then going to lie there for a bit. There was a lot of other bits and pieces in between, but if we skip to the end, because this was where it really got us real good, was obviously we had, because Bianca and Jade have sort of, in a very short period of time as a tag team, have become very renowned for double team moves.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the move that they were doing, which was sort of, into the DDT, and
then she
then
kicks her off.
Kicks her off
Just
into
it's kind of like a German.
It's a German.
yeah, it's like a German suplex. And then obviously Jade, we're thinking, here we go, she's going for the pin. She gets attacked from behind by Albafire.
It was Isla Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay, I will learn. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Isla Dawn, and got the 1, 2, 3.
She Germaned her straight off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there because we said it several times over the past few months as they've been champions. Well, it's only been 2 months now, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
only
not
since
that long.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. We've said it like these women will hold the titles for a long time, so we were not expecting.
Because we also said
everyone
Yeah.
in that room, we were all just like, "Oh my god, they did it!" But then we were also like,
But as you said,
"That's your
actually,
one Scottish win for the night."
As you said, I know you said, "Oh, no one will beat them," but no one did beat them.
Correct.
Correct.
And that's the storytelling that they've done here the smartest way. Because
Smart.
if you put, like we said, anyone against Bianca and Jade, you lose. Bianca and Jade are just too good. So the only way to do it, and I don't think any of us really clicked onto this being a triple threat in the fact that
can't
they don't
believe we
have
didn't.
to take the pin.
Yeah.
Was the fact that they didn't lose.
No.
Shayna lost. Shayna was pinned.
And I tell you what, the crowd were just as surprised as us because I have to say, when the girls first came in, because they came in first on the entrances, the crowd was pretty mild. I thought they were going to be a bit louder because they were hometown.
I don't think they got
talent.
quite the reaction that like Piper and Drew did.
No,
Not even.
but
on
then
Drew's
when
level,
they
but, like,
won,
yeah,
the
that's
crowd went
huge.
nuts because I think the crowd just expected, they're here
feeding them.
because they're
Yeah.
Scottish.
It was like
you know.
at Elimination Chamber Perth when we had Indy in the tag title match
Yeah,
on the
Indy
pre-show.
Candice,
Like,
yeah.
we were just like, this is just to like get her a title match in her
Yeah,
home
correct.
country. So
And it wasn't. They won.
yeah.
Great.
So
on
no,
them.
good for them.
I
wouldn't
love
be
swerves, man.
surprised.
I love swerves.
I wouldn't be
Great.
surprised if they go back and lose them very promptly back to Bianca and Jade. But we'll see what happens.
It was kind of telling
See
because
what
like in the little interview that they had post-match, Albafire said, "We're going to be holding on to these for a very long time." And
Yeah.
Dan was just like, "They're losing him in a week."
They telegraphed.
We were
it.
just like,
absolutely telegraphed.
yeah,
it.
probably.
The other thing I liked with this too was that they didn't seed any dissension between Jade and Bianca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost because they
They
just
got
beat.
ganged up on.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to start turning those two against each other yet. Keep that maybe WrestleMania next year if you want to.
They c-
Build to it
Yeah.
for a long time. Give them space.
Yeah.
Don't rush that feud.
Yeah.
And I think that they didn't do a thing where there was miscommunication and Bianca accidentally
Yeah.
hit
Yeah.
Jade. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into, I think were my 3 favorite matches of the night.
Yeah. The cinema of this.
I think I just
show.
quickly want to talk about some other bits and pieces before we get to the other matches and the main event. Number 1, we need to talk about the crowd.
Yes.
Very loud.
Yeah, I'll
I
give,
don't think they were quite Leon level, but they were very close.
you said they wouldn't get up to that level, but they'd.
They're
Do
over
similar.
100 decibel a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
They
which is-
gave it a red hot go.
You called it. Like I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. I hadn't quite clicked onto the fact that it was like the UK, like England, United Kingdom crowd,
Cody Rhodes.
and they just go bonkers for
Yeah.
the
Cody-
football. So
Cody
it
Rhodes.
just translates.
Cody.
No, I'm not doing it.
Cody.
Fuck off.
All
Sammy.
SmackDown.
Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, they
it was
did it.
Drew
McIntyre.
McIntyre. Look, they got into it. The energy was just massive the whole time, which was great. There wasn't really any matches where they died off. Like they just kept going. So good on the Glasgow crowd for that because it's really and the fact that they've introduced that decibel rating.
That
Yeah,
was a
obviously
really cool
smart.
introduction.
Yeah, so WWE are cottoning onto that online people are talking about, how great are these international crowds? It creates a great competition within countries, not just in terms of wrestling, but who can be the greatest wrestling fans.
And we talk about this a fair bit. Santi's app on Twitter and TikTok and all that sort of stuff. Santi always does the woe level for the Cody Rhodes entrance.
Solid
was
9
loud.
I haven't seen what it was, but I reckon he's going to give this a 9.5 out of 10.
It was
at
loud,
least. It was a
especially
very
because it was
good
only
one.
11,000 people in the arena too.
Yeah.
It was loud. It was very
Props
loud.
on.
And then the other thing I wanted to touch on really quickly before we get into all the other awesome matches was the commentary. I actually really
The three
enjoyed
men?
the commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The three of them have great chemistry.
3 of the best commentators going at the moment.
I loved the poo-poo job face by Corey Graves when he found out from the poster that he was doing the post-match press
Yeah.
conference, which I don't think he ended up
but
doing.
he
But
wasn't.
Wade
But
did
he
it.
But his poo-poo
Just
job
stirring
face
him
was
up.
great. Wade made some absolutely hilarious comments. What was the one about if Drew wins, he's British. If he loses, he's Scottish.
Yeah.
That was a classic. There was another one. What was
The
it?
bagpipes should be
Bag-
restrained to Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, that's right. That was perfect. So just on those
And then
those
his
notes.
Oh, especially we should leave it till later. Once
Yeah,
we talk about the main event.
that comes later.
No, that was the two major things I thought I really had to pull out. It was a bit the ramp way they do, not the ramp way, but a walkway where I think there was a
It
couple
was
of
a lot
times-
different than usual because it was
Yeah.
kind of like it came out and then it angled and then it went to the ring.
Yeah.
But usually it's just like bang, bang, and that's the ring.
But obviously,
Yeah.
it
So
really
there
is.
was an extra turn in
Yeah,
there.
it really is dependent on the arena and where
Oh,
they can
absolutely.
Put
Like
the
you could see
seats
in the
and-
crowd on SmackDown and here, like
Yeah.
when you had that hard cam shot, the corners of the arena were kind of like blocked out for like entrance ramps and
Yeah.
stuff, like tunnels for things to come through.
Yeah.
So they've just set up in one of the tunnels and they've had to like.
But I think the effect it also had was there was a couple of times we saw when the wrestlers came out and you could tell that not everyone could see when they first come
Yeah.
out from the back because
Yeah.
there was no reaction and then they'd sort of walk down a little bit and then all of a sudden you'd start getting a little bit of reaction. So I think that was definitely noticeable. It didn't ruin the event, but it's definitely, we're also used to seeing a wrestler come out and you just expect that sort of surge or roar or
Yeah.
booze or sort
But
of.
also, like that kind of a ramp thing, I like they had it at Puerto Rico and stuff, which was all fine. But like, it doesn't allow them to do an entrance per se.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think Piper in her match deserved more than just walking out.
Yeah.
So did
pyros
Alpha
and
like
fire-
Drew got
fireworks,
the
fire,
bagpipes and
something.
stuff that we talked about, which was fine. But like, I think the others should have had something.
Yeah.
And there wasn't. There was just nothing in the way that was set up to allow them to do anything of substance for any of their entrances. Even like Cody and AJ and stuff was just theme music, walk out.
Yeah.
It just it takes a little bit away from me.
And then what was good was that they made up for that for some absolutely pure cinema in the ring.
match.
Which is the next match we're going to talk about. The IC title match, which we had between Sami Zayn defending his title against Chad Gable with Otis and Maxine at ringside.
Yes.
Now, the crowd went absolutely nuts for Sami. He seems to be popular no matter where he goes in the world.
Worldwide.
Apart from Reese's TikTok.
Yeah, apart from Reese's TikTok.
Hey, I'm trying not to be as mean these days.
Dude, jump on the Sami train, man.
I
Get on
rated
board.
the haluva kick pretty well in my tiers list, I think.
I didn't even get it, unfortunately.
I put it in C. I thought C was a respectable.
I do like that he did the over the ropes backflip, the El Generico callback in this
Oh,
match.
Yeah, that was cool.
I will say that about Sammy. I've always loved when he's done that.
Yeah.
The little callback to El Generico.
He's very good in the ring. And we said this during the match. The match itself was just a good wrestling match. It was very much a classic intercontinental style match where you had two great workers in the ring, just doing the chain moves, going for it. And you were like, yep, this is good, this is good. And you could tell that something else was going to happen because obviously we had Maxine who's looking, or doing a throwback to Perry Saturn out on the side
Perry
with
Saturn
that hat. And Otis. And obviously
With
we
the
had
in the moon boot.
we had the interaction with Chad getting out of the ring at one point going, remember what we talked about?
Yep.
Remember what we talked about?
Yep.
And then Sammy gets out there and obviously after the promo or the backstage interaction you had with him on the, was it SmackDown?
Raw.
Or Raw, sorry. Yeah, it's
yeah.
Raw. It's Intercontinental title. Of course it's Raw. Where he's had that conversation with Otis and Otis is obviously, you can see he's, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
Who am I? Oh, Sammy's right, but I'm with Chatty. And we had that back and forth. But then what they did really well, and I know you sort of commented on it that you didn't like it, was they went back to doing the intercontinental style, really good wrestling. And
I didn't mind it. I just feel like that
When you have people at ringside,
Yeah.
you're expecting.
my expectation is that I liked that match. It was good. I loved the chain wrestling. There was a spot where they just did standing switches for like 30 seconds on each other, which was funny. But that kind of felt inconsequential because nothing in terms of a pinfall is going to happen until Otis is involved.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing we've said for Roman for the last 2 years of his title
the
reign.
matches
Was
were
that
good,
nothing
but-
is going to happen to his match until Solo or something happens.
Yeah.
Everything beforehand, the first 15 minutes or so, it's great,
yeah.
but
But you're just
it's not
waiting for
finished.
that. You're just waiting.
And that was what I thought here was.
But I
that this
guess
is all
in that
good.
sense, it's building that anticipation because you know that there's going to be
Yeah,
interference,
absolutely.
and it's just building. And when it got to it,
oh, mate.
as we said, pure cinema. It was
And
absolutely
some
awesome.
of the spots beforehand, like they almost sold me on a couple.
Yeah.
That missed haluva kick where he nearly hit Maxine and then
Yeah.
the rolling thunder,
The Chaos Theory.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chaos Theory! Oh, so good.
I thought he had it there.
Such a good spot.
2.99999.
Oh, dude,
Fantastic
so
kick
close.
out there.
And then obviously we had it all went to the outside. We had Chad put Sammy into an ankle lock over the barricade. So Sammy went to do, and this was actually really good because the way they did it, Sammy's obviously been doing his moonsault off the barricade quite a lot lately. And this time he went, oh, he's doing it again. But Chaddy was able to grab him, pull his feet, he hit, puts him in the ankle lock, which was a nice different spot because we're so used to Sammy just pulling off that somersault and doing it well. Obviously, then rolls out. Chad goes into Maxine's leg, the moon boot leg. Down she goes. And then Otis
That-
obviously is
the
torn
shot
between...
of them just like slowly
Yeah.
turning and like looking at each other. After Chad had done that.
Yeah.
Cinema.
They're just, and that's the thing, like it's cinema, like their timing and just like building that anticipation. And the crowd, like you could see it, you
Yeah.
could hear it.
Yeah. Mhm.
They just started a giant rumble as they were turning.
You're right. The cameramen were
It's
always in the
so
best
well
spot.
done.
Earlier in the match when Maxine went to hit Sammy with the belt, and the cameraman was able to position himself that you could see Chad in the background staring at Maxine, and he had his body language perfect of, what is she doing?
Why is she not
Why
doing
is she
it?
not doing the plan? Like, I don't think there was any spot that we missed in terms of, because, you know, sometimes the camera might cut away and we miss a spot. It was perfect.
It was the same
perfect.
when you had Sammy jump over the ropes and Chad pulled Otis into it. That was perfectly timed. And then when Chad went off the ropes and hit both of them, like at no point did you miss where that
Key
was
moments,
going.
yeah.
You knew exactly. You saw exactly what happened. The story that they were telling you was that Chad was going to do whatever it took.
Yeah.
And if that meant hurting Maxine and Otis, he was going to do it.
Yeah.
And just the pure cinema,
Yeah.
getting him into the ring, and then that obviously Otis carrying Maxine out.
Yep.
Chad looking all sad and despondent that they're leaving him, turning
Turns
around, bang.
Yeah.
Done.
Sammy gets the
1,
win.
2, 3.
And then Chad kneeling in the ring and just staring
like,
daggers at
Steering
Sammy.
daggers and like the little grimaces that he was doing.
Perfect. And so it's just like, I know the story itself hasn't moved along much further than we already knew where it was, but there's enough that happened that you're like, right, next show, something's going down. Otis is picking, he's picking which way he's going.
This Otis pop when he finally smashes Gable in the face, it's
Yeah.
going to be so big.
It's going to be brilliant.
Oh,
Absolutely
huge.
brilliant.
It's gonna be so good.
So that was definitely up there. I'm still torn as to what was my favorite match. I think that one is very tough for me in terms of 1 and 2. But next match was also quite fun. And this one was Piper Niven challenging Bailey for the women's title. Piper got quite a good reception from the crowd, which was great. And
I was just
thinking of something else
Picturing
we're going to get to in a
Chelsea in
minute.
her
Yeah,
outfit.
we're going to get to it in a
Chelsea
minute.
Green!
But the package they played beforehand, which was a callback to her promo that
Yep.
she had,
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant in
They-
terms of her history and a build up to that moment.
This is one of those things that proves that WWE can pick anyone they want and they can build them into a title match in 3 weeks.
yeah.
And they
And have it be
Piper has
believable.
been
And make it mean something.
Piper has been a comedy character, and her and Chelsea have been cannon fodder in the tag division for months.
Yeah.
Right? But the second that this was coming to Scotland, we kind of knew. And I don't know if you guys read it. There was an interview that Piper did before this weekend, or on this
I think I
weekend when
know
she was
what you're
there.
about to mention.
She walked into Triple H's office, knocked on the door, and he was like, "What's up?" And she goes, "Look, I'm going to put a pitch to you." And he goes, "Don't worry, we're already doing it."
Yeah.
And she was like, "What?" And he goes,
We're working on it.
Castle, right? We're working on it. So they knew this
They already knew.
before she even came
Good
to
on
them.
them.
So,
Good on them.
Yeah.
and the way that they did these promos with her in the ring, they let her have a microphone, let her talk. The way they let sort of Bailey poke and prodded her a little bit, enough for Piper to come back as a fiery heel, but not like the bad guy. Kind of like still have the crowd behind her, because they know that the crowd in Scotland was going to be behind
Yeah,
her.
absolutely.
Just so well done. And the fact that she squashed Bailey a little bit,
Yeah.
you've put her over. Then when the Chelsea match on SmackDown, where she was there at ringside, like they just everything they've done so well positioned Piper for this match to actually give her and Bailey stakes that you might have thought, you know what,
She might do this.
she might win.
Well,
this.
especially after the result we had in
Yeah.
the tag match.
And that was the thing. Like
Yeah.
after we had that tag match result, I was like, are they going to do this? Like,
Could they?
and that's the thing. Like we watched it, and Piper's so skilled in the ring, and this is probably one of the first times we've actually had that opportunity since like very early NXT UK days for her to actually showcase her ability. Like the past few weeks with the mic work and now the in-ring work, it's just her getting that opportunity to showcase her talent in front of
13
a home
minutes, this
crowd
was.
as well, and
Yeah,
now
wow.
a worldwide stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that means there's something big for her in the future, because she could absolutely be a main event champion and
for sure.
carry a feud for months and months and months.
Yeah.
I think what we'd said maybe last week or the week before in our podcast was that this feud for Bailey was a chance for her to work with a bigger person to see what the match with Nia will be. I think this is going to blow out of the water whatever
Yeah, and
Nia
that's the
does.
thing.
Like
Well,
Piper was,
Piper can do what Nia can't.
yeah.
yeah,
That Bailey to
it's
belly
rough.
from the turnbuckle, man.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Nia being able to pull that off.
I can't imagine Nia taking the finish.
No
The
way.
crucifix roll up, like
Yeah.
off like a suplex thing. Like
And that was such a brutal hit too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because Piper had to throw her full weight back and pop herself up as well.
Yeah.
I can't see Nia doing
I mean,
it.
you know
Like, no,
what?
no offense to Nia. Like, she's come a long way from where she was,
Yeah.
but I can't see her having that caliber of a
No.
match with Bayley
No.
at SummerSlam.
We also need to talk about Chelsea for
Yes.
this match.
Yes.
The way that she got ejected because Bailey stood on her
Cultural
hands.
appropriation, anybody?
Hey,
No,
I think it was fine. I mean,
Of course it was fine.
Chelsea
I'm
looks
joking.
great.
Yeah.
But the fact that she got ejected, which I thought was, it was funny because she gets in the ref's face and she gets ejected. She wants Bailey ejected, which she's not going to happen because she's in
From
the
her
match.
own
But
match.
all right.
She's
Yeah.
the champion.
The fact that she comes running back down with a lucha mask on and like
Amazing.
Corey,
who
who's
was it?
Corey or Wade is like, I wonder who that is.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole's like, pretty sure it's Chelsea Green. She goes, allegedly Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was Reclusa.
Reclusa from
Oh,
Lucha.
look, it was funny. Chelsea Green, in terms of the comedic value, is just amazing. And her and it's so weird because I remember when they first got together as a tag team, we all sort of went, that just got thrown together.
Because they
And man,
didn't, remember?
Yeah, no, they did get thrown together.
No, because like it was Chelsea and it was Sonya as the
Yeah,
tag
and then she
champs.
got injured, and Piper literally just walked in and went,
Yep.
give me that belt.
Yeah.
Right? And
Correct.
we all sort of went, oh, okay. And they've made it work
absolutely.
so well. They've come so far, and I really,
Absolutely
really
love it.
hope
I think
that
they've made
Piper-
chicken salad out of chicken shit. Is that what the saying is?
That's what you say. That's what
Yeah.
you say.
Apparently, that's
I really hope at some point the Piper does get a singles title run because she definitely deserves it. And I think
Absolutely.
she's shown her ability in the ring. She's shown her ability on the mic now that Redacted never gave her an opportunity for because no one's going to understand Scottish accent. So great match, loved it. Bailey did get booed at the end because she won.
Yeah.
Like, there were a few,
but there was lots of Bailey chants throughout the
yeah,
whole thing.
exactly. And she also did the right thing when she was leaving. Calling backwards, there was that look of, okay, you nearly
Piper,
had me. You
Piper
nearly
got
had
her
me.
moment in the middle of the ring
Exactly.
after
Yeah.
the match, which was what was needed.
And now we get to the main event.
This
Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, El Campeon,
I'm telling
for
you.
the World Heavyweight title. Now, Drew, as you already mentioned before, that the way that the entrance was set up, unfortunately, they couldn't have this really overly big entrance. But Drew did get the pipes and drums band playing Scotland the Brave.
There was no broken dreams.
For his entry. The crowd went absolutely mental for Drew.
As
The
they should.
decibel measure was going over 100
105,
multiple
I think I saw it.
times. His gear was awesome. He had that same vest style jacket that he had from WrestleMania, but I think you pointed out the bottom half of it must have been the bit
The
that he-
missing
the
WrestleMania
missing-
bit.
Yeah, the missing bit. So the gear looked awesome. He was absolutely revved up. He got the crowd revved up. And then when
He's had a haircut.
which was very noticeable with the bangs.
Old mate's got
with the
bangs now, mate.
Yeah.
But then when Damien came in, what's been interesting is because Damien's obviously been sort of becoming a little bit popular with crowds in Judgment
America,
Day, even though he is a heel. He worked the heel here so well, the way that he interacted with the crowd, and he really got them booing him. And I know he even mentioned it later on at the press conference about the fact of they were great because they really didn't want me to win, was his words.
Well, yeah, because someone said, was it a hostile crowd?
Yeah.
And he said, I wouldn't say it was hostile. It was just a
Just
crowd
people
that
booing.
wanted to see me lose, and I still won.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And I tell you what,
Spoilers.
these two guys, for being the size that they are in terms of height and weight, damn, can they move, man? They wrestled like they wrestled very much like Chad and Sammy did in terms of intercontinental style chain wrestling with two big guys, and obviously their cardio is really good for guys of their size.
20 minutes was.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And it was
Very nice.
a great match. And the big spot you'll probably see from this match a lot is Damien. The spot where Damien's gone
top
to
dollaring
go
himself.
over the rope to. I'm not sure what move he was going to
top-dollared
do.
himself.
But maybe
Well,
it was
like-
a DDT onto the apron or something.
What he usually does is I'll go towards Mike. He'll put his foot on the middle rope and
Yeah.
then just do a somersault over.
Yeah, he
like
just-
use it
he
as the
uses-
springboard to somersault
Yeah.
over. But
Obviously got
he
stuck.
got caught.
Now,
And it looked horrible.
they did. But the way they got on with it, where Drew. And you can see that.
He had that moment of,
Damien
oh shit, is
sold
he
it
okay?
instantly.
But then he was just like, oh, fuck this
But
guy.
also Damien sold it and trusted Drew and the ref to sort it out. Because if you go back
Yeah.
and watch, instead of trying to get his own foot out and panicking, he hung there as if like, oh, I've just hit the apron, I've knocked myself out. So he didn't all of a sudden panic and really point out the fact of, oh, we've botched a move. And then obviously Drew was really milking it and attacked him and was laughing about it. Sort of gave the opportunity for the ref to try and get him out, but the ropes were so tight he could not do it.
And that Damien ended up getting himself on the apron, which would have alleviated a lot of the stress and the pressure on that as well.
It hurt him.
And
you
then
could tell.
Well,
Drew did some stuff and helped him back.
we kept saying that for the rest of the match, Damien was selling it. But
I don't
after
think
seeing
he
him at the
was,
press
though.
conference afterwards, I don't think it was a sell at all. I think he's
And that's-
actually hurt himself, and he completed that match. Oh, man, the amount of kicks that he was doing off that leg, too.
He was still using that leg offensively as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of his big spitting kicks.
I
and
hope
stuff,
we don't
yeah.
get bad news on Raw.
We don't want another
I'm
Rhea
praying
thing. Yeah,
for
no,
that.
we don't want
Because
that.
like he's
yeah.
really starting to hit his stride now. Like that match that he's put on with Drew. Like he mentioned it in a press conference. People have been throwing a paper champion,
Yeah.
transitional
Oh,
champion.
you can't beat Jey Uso.
Yeah.
You beat Jey Uso. You can't beat Drew.
He beat Drew.
But he's
and
not-
I'm
he's doing it
starting to
well.
really get behind him now.
He's having great matches, too, man. This
Exactly,
was an
and that's the
amazing
thing.
match.
It's-
It was really,
that's
really
the-
good. Oh,
my alarm,
uh-oh.
sorry.
That's the workhorse title. And I think because we had Seth for so long, and Seth has a very high caliber of matches, we didn't think Damien could do it. But he's
Yeah.
proving us wrong.
Yeah, for
Absolutely he is.
Yeah.
Now, that was one of the highlights. The other highlights from the match, the Claymore through Barry Barricade.
Yep.
Absolutely awesome. The barricade literally just disintegrated. That was an awesome spot. The Hurricanrana by Damien to Drew off the top rope.
Big men doing moves like that is crazy.
Exactly. Into a Claymore, which, dude, the way that Damien sold that.
2.99 kick out too.
The way that Damien sold that, where he literally just collapsed on the spot, made it look so legit. And then, as you said, 2.999999999 kick out. It had us because we thought, no, he's got this. Drew's won. No, he didn't. A very interesting ref bump.
I liked this ref bump.
It's not something that you see at all because usually it's the standard ref standing in the corner, throw someone into it, or
Yeah, so the ref,
Whatever.
that's the normal spot.
Yeah.
And this ref got out of the way,
So he went through the ropes to get out of the corner because obviously they were coming into the corner.
which would have been the normal ref bump spot. And I reckon
but
they
then
were
he
like,
got back up and got into the corner, and then
And then got
but he was
bumped
on
off.
the apron.
Yeah.
oh, he was on the apron. Yeah, that's right.
And then
'Cause
got bumped off
did you-
into the barricade.
I don't know if you guys saw it. Like when he made the leap out,
He played his leg.
he played his leg a little bit, so he took his time getting back up. On
And then once he got up, bang, he was off. Yeah.
But then we got the obvious spot where Drew then obviously did get another Claymore onto Damian Priest. Got the crowd going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, obviously there's no ref coming, and all of a
Well,
sudden
no, because he waved.
he waves
Yeah.
for someone to
Someone.
come out. The camera pans back,
this
and you
was
can
so
see
good.
the white and
You see
black
a head
shirt
running
running
down.
down. Slides into the ring, and you see the camera from behind with this ref with really slick hair and nice kicks. And the camera turns. CM Punk is your replacement referee.
that was
Goes, oh, the
perfect,
shoulder.
man.
Sorry, I've pulled my shit. He got his shoulder up. He got his shoulder up.
I can't.
It's only two. It's only two.
Can't believe that. It
And
was
then-
so perfect.
Dude, the chemistry between those two, though, the fact that Drew like stood up and just fuming, grabs him round the throat, into the corner, pushes him back. CM Punk kicks him in the balls. Down goes Drew.
He's out straight
Damien gets another South of Heaven, which Drew sells them so well. They look fantastic when they pull them off together. Gets the 1, 2, 3 win, and then CM Punk celebrates with the only 3 CM Punk fans in the
That was
building.
crazy because I saw them earlier in the night. I was like,
They're in a
oh,
very
they're gonna
clear
mark
spot.
out.
Yeah.
While everyone else is there. There was one guy you know,
Just sitting there, just
in the background with his Scotland 316 shirt, just staring at CM Punk and the CM Punk fans. But like, what a couple of really great innovative ways. Like the ref bump was, they only changed it slightly, right? As
Yeah.
you said, normally it gets bumped in the corner, but they changed it slightly
'Cause he got out of the way.
The
Yeah, got out of the
interference
way the
by
first
CM Punk with the referee.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've ever had a spot like that.
No.
No.
This is such good
Like,
storytelling.
that is just-
They are so
We've
good.
had it
Peak
before where it's
storytelling.
been predetermined that person would be a
It was-
referee from
yeah,
the start.
but
and
like
do it,
having
but
them
to
having
slide
someone
in.
run out
And-
like
and
that
like you
as
said-
the ref, and then just like stop.
As you said, Ted,
staring.
earlier, the camera work from this show, we saw everything we were supposed to see. It
Correct.
was spot on because
Yeah.
the camera shot to show you the ref sliding into the ring was from the ramp.
Yeah.
So all you saw was this person run past you.
Yeah.
You didn't see their face.
No.
So people
Yeah.
could have been like, oh, the ref's here. Hang on a
but
minute.
Dan did have a Bobby Heenan moment
Yeah, I called
as
it.
the camera panned back and we saw a referee running down the ramp. And Dan, I don't know how, he just thought of it straight away. He goes, "It's not CM Punk, is it?" And as he said that, it went to the next camera where the ref slid in, and I saw from behind
hair.
the slick hair, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that is CM Punk!" Like he called it right at the
so
last minute.
good.
And then let's talk about post match. So then we've had the video come out of Drew afterwards, just losing his mind. He
put his
the
hands on
referee
Corey Graves.
losing his mind at Corey
Graves,
Graves.
yeah.
Cody Graves.
Him and Wade Barrett having
Wade Barrett.
discussions about, oh yeah, you got ripped off. Storms out. So he's really living that character 24/7 at the moment in terms of him and Punk. And then we get to the press conference afterwards, which we watched really quickly.
Yep.
And what was different about this press conference is we didn't go straight into the press conference. We actually went back to a panel,
Yep.
where we had, I think it was Jackie Redmond, Wade Barrett, and Big E.
Yep.
And Wade Barrett went on an absolute tirade about CM Punk and he needs to be fired. He's now ruined 2 title matches.
I need to find the tweet from CM Punk too.
He's offended all of Scotland,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Calling for CM Punk's job.
Yep. To be fired, off you go.
Oh,
See you
mate,
later.
This is
And it was
something.
such a great, and then it got even better because that was such a great precursor to the press conference, which we get to. And it was amazing because Damien, first of all, props to him. He knows how to talk to media. He was really good.
All rise.
All right. He
no,
forced everyone to
all
get up.
rise.
And then answered the questions. He was still somewhat in character, but I think there was also very much some truth in there where he said, look, I think you mentioned it before, everyone said I couldn't beat this person, couldn't beat
Yeah,
that person,
yeah.
that I can't hold this belt. I'm proving you wrong. And I think he's right.
He's doing
He
a
is
good
proving
job.
his
doing a good
point.
job.
But what was great about this press conference is we had, here we go, we had an unexpected visit from CM Punk. And as you can see, they're wearing a Celtic jersey. For anyone who doesn't know soccer, aka football, in the UK, Celtic versus Rangers is one of the oldest rivalries in football.
Drew McIntyre goes for.
He's
He's
a Rangers
Rangers.
fan.
He's Rangers.
And it is stemmed in religion. I believe it's Catholics and
Protestants. Yep.
I don't ask me to remember which ones are which. I don't want to insult anyone. But he came out in the Celtic
Smart move,
jersey
Ted. Smart move.
Yeah.
with a box of donuts, which there was no mention of Mindy's Bakery. I don't think she's over there, but I think there was a reference there somewhere.
I'm going the wrong way for the camera.
You're going the
sorry.
wrong way, bro. What are you doing? What do we got here?
It says Punk is here and he's bringing pastries.
That's perfect.
That's on Punk's
Oh,
Instagram.
it got me. I like pastries.
I'm trying to find. There it is.
Oh, there we
That's
go.
the one I
That's
need
the
to
one.
show.
That's the one. Try it. There we go. Yep. A little bit of revenge for
Very
CM
nice.
Punk.
Very nice.
But he was such a good heel, talking about the fact that, what was the question? I think the first question that he got was, you've screwed over Drew, so the whole of Scotland hates you, and
Yeah.
now you're wearing a Celtic jersey, so now half of Scotland hates you. Congratulations on having 1.5 of the whole of Scotland hate you.
And then his response was, I don't think anyone hates me.
No,
All right.
I think they love me.
There's one particular, the biggest man in Scotland hates
Yeah.
me, but it's about it. I think everyone loves me.
Just happy to see me.
He really was his
so
old school
good.
smart ass CM Punk
It was
self.
just, like, that was just a complete throwback to like 2010s Punk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was so good to see him with that interaction in that press conference.
Yeah.
And the fact that like he screwed over Drew in Scotland and then like gate crashes the press conference. Like
I
it
just
is.
sat there like nothing happened.
We have said this almost on every recording we've done.
this
This
is hot.
feud is going to be one of the best of all time. And they've only wrestled once in the ring in a Royal Rumble, which was back in January.
And I
6 months ago they wrestled.
Yeah.
Right? And we are still here going, oh my God, when are they going to get in the ring?
Ted has said that this could main event SummerSlam.
I think it
I
will.
think it will. I agree with you, Ted. I agree.
Oh, you boys
Something
are
you've agreed
together.
with me on, man.
That's
That's
so
it. I've won.
nice.
That's it. Give me the trophy. Reece agreed with one of my predictions. That's it. I quit. I'll never peak any higher than that. Look, it's
The other thing to talk about with this was, like we said, with Wade Barrett's response.
Yes.
Is he going to get
And-
involved somehow?
I don't know.
I
But
think he's
you know-
upset
you know what?
because CM Punk was a better leader of the Nexus. That's
Do
my.
you know
that's
what?
my-
I thought. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to get this.
No,
story out
please,
in the air.
please.
That's the second time today you've interrupted.
I know,
me.
I know. I'm
least.
terrible at it. A thought crossed my mind because
Uh-huh.
we heard the rumors about Corey Graves being back in the ring.
Oh, you think Wade's getting back in the ring?
Oh, Wade.
Do
with
they
Drew.
have a tag match of some sort where it's Drew
Corey
and
with
Wade
Punk.
and Corey and Punk? Just let
You
that
know what? I'd see it.
sizzle and
I'd
simmer for a second.
be down for that. But
That could be a good precursor to a single match because you could hold off them actually
Interacting,
being in the
yeah.
ring, but they'd be in a match,
Yeah.
but not necessarily touch each other.
Before the post-match press conference, in the post-match, whatever it was anyway, essentially Wade Barrett said that this is worse than the Montreal Screwjob, that CM Punk should be fired from WWE because he's now twice interfered and costed the World Heavyweight Championship match. This is the worst thing for the entire wrestling business. He needs to be fired.
You told me it was worse than that idiot who got kicked in the head by Bill Goldberg.
Yes.
Wow.
According to Wade, anyway.
Wow.
So I think they're definitely going to lean onto that. And obviously, Drew, the way that you said how he just went crazy in the end, he's going to be absolutely unhinged come Raw.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to lose his mind. What Punk did say too, which I think is smart, in the press conference, he said that I have been given permission to skip Raw because I've got to go get my tricep checked out just to make sure I can get medical clearance because he's
Medically cleared, yeah.
this close to being cleared.
Well, the comment of, I've been medically cleared to referee.
Yeah, that's so good.
Except I had a bit of a mishap.
But he did say that SmackDown this week is in Chicago. So you're going to have Drew on the Raw lose his mind. Then you're going to have Punk show up in Chicago with the entire crowd behind him. Maybe you see a Drew shot. This is just
I do
cooking so much.
I do love though how he made it out as if I don't think they want me to say that, but 100% they want him to say
Oh,
that.
of course they do.
Because everyone's going to go Punk on SmackDown, medically cleared. Oh, let's go.
And you know what I really love? Like as we've said, this is a really hot feud, and there are a couple times, like in the past couple of months, where it's kind of simmered down a little bit, and we're like, they got to like bite the bullet soon. They got to do something.
Yeah.
And then they do this, and we're just like,
yeah.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Dude,
absolutely nailed
it was an amazing way to end the PLE.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer will probably give it 3.5 stars because that's what he gave, Drew versus Seth with
I
Damien
reckon
cashing in. But
4.5. I reckon he really likes this match. I think the worst part to the match was the botch, but unfortunately,
But they
that was just
worked it
unfortunate.
out well.
Correct.
Yeah, they worked
they
it out
recovered really well from it. It could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Could have gone really poorly. Could have been done. But again, like you said with the camera work, when Drew got over it, he started banging the announce table, and the camera went with him purely so the referee could be like yanking his ankle out and not looking really awkward on the show. So all of it, I think the match was great. I think the whole show over exceeded my expectations for what it was going to be.
100%.
Absolutely.
We all thought that
Agreed.
this was a pretty predictable card. They're going to give the Scotland people, a few good spots, but we know how this is going to go. Wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And
we had a massive swerve in there too.
huge swerve.
Massive swerve.
And the fact that it was just under 3 hours, I think, overall. There was a lot of in-ring wrestling. All of the camera work and everything was done well. The crowd was really hot. Triple H is nailing these international PLEs. He really is.
I think more than likely what's going to happen, and I think Scotland will get a bit upset because more than likely they'll look to go to Wembley rather than necessarily up in Scotland. But I think the UK is definitely going to deserve a big four of some kind. Like, it's got to happen with the crowds like that. Like, they get into it and they get sellouts. All the people are turning up. The talent love going there. I think it's time that they
they've announced the 2-day SummerSlam in 2026.
Nothing.
What about
for
SummerSlam
next year.
2025?
Yeah. Well, nothing's been said yet, right? I think they're getting one. I really do think. Because remember when they were last there, John Cena obviously came out after Grayson
Promised them a
Waller and said
WrestleMania.
that, the fact that WrestleMania should be here, etc., etc. What do you think in terms of the PLE overall, Reece? Do you agree with
I think it was
Dan's assessment?
Yeah, solid 3.5, 4 stars overall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like going into it, we thought it was very predictable. But like to have the matches be that good of quality and then have a couple swerves in there.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think my biggest takeaways from this is Piper is way better than
Absolutely.
she's been given any opportunity to show. Number 2, Sami Zayn and Chad Gable are 2 of probably the best performers overall in WWE and in wrestling in general.
Alpha Academy Cinema. It has been on TV for months
But those
now.
two
it's been
men,
especially on TV for
you tell me in the past, I'd say even 2 years, you tell me a bad match either of those men have been in.
No, you can't.
Doesn't exist.
No, they right now, I look at them and I go, this is exactly what the Intercontinental title is about.
Even when
they
he
are
was
the entire
Shorty
history of the
G, he
Intercontinental.
was still
dude.
ripping out.
Let's
bangers.
leave Shorty
Gone.
G out of this.
And then the last one for me is actually to do with Damian Priest, because I have to admit I'm a fan of Damian, and I did look at it and go, Drew versus Damian, mate, is it going to live up to being a main event of a PLE? blew it out of the water. Even though the big point obviously was CM Punk coming in, the match itself between Damian and Drew was awesome.
I'm going to seed something into your minds just on that one. We obviously knew that this match was set, so the stipulation was that the Judgment Day were banned from ringside because Finn lost. And Damian was obviously disappointed that they weren't there. Do you reckon this now means Damian goes back and says, I don't need you? I went to Scotland. I beat Drew. I didn't even need Judgment Day to do it.
That's the thing, like, since he's got that title, and you saw it in the France match, because he didn't want Dom and Finn to
help.
and JD to come out, and they did.
And he didn't
was
want
pissed off
Carlito to
about
get
it.
involved. And
This time, nobody could come out to help, and he won.
Yep.
I think out of all of Judgment Day, if anyone's going to turn face, it's Damian.
I think they need
It's
to do
Damian,
it because when Rhea comes back and Liv, we assume it lives in with Dom and taking over Judgment Day. Rhea is the biggest babyface of the company. If you can put the Terror Twins as the two champions, as the two babyfaces, that's the one thing that keeps Damian Priest super relevant at the top of the card.
And there's some intergender matches right there as well. Rhea and Damian potentially
Liv and
versus
Dom.
Liv and Finn or Liv and Dom. And
Sign us
we're
up,
gonna.
mate.
Before, I don't want to get
Sign us
into
up.
too many predictions because I think we should save it for when we get closer in a couple of weeks to Money in the Bank. But I think you already mentioned the guys from Wrestle Talk did their predictions for Money in the Bank, and I think we might be onto something here because one of the people they predicted to be in the match was Finn Balor.
I said that one too.
And if Damian's still holding the belt and
Didn't you
Finn
call that
Balor
months
has
ago,
the
though?
Money in the Bank.
Look,
I got your back,
we
mate.
said it a
And
while
I think
ago.
now, like, Judgment Day's been around for, what was it, 3 years now? Plus? It's getting close.
WrestleMania 37.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be 3 years.
Because that's...
That would, but the first
Because
year was
that
the
was
Edge
when...
year.
37 was when Priest came out, and then Rhea joined later, and then 38 was the Edge versus Finn match.
So we've got a lot of
And then
history.
39 was... Wasn't it 39?
Or maybe it was.
It was 39, because then
It was
40 was...
38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been about 2.5
But
years.
still, now we've had history with Damian and Finn were tag title holders together.
Yeah.
They've been close. They've been brothers. If we can go... And I think Finn deserves one last go
I agree.
in a title match.
That's the
Title
real
run.
story that needs finishing.
I don't necessarily mean he wins the title, but he definitely deserves a main event match for the title in a storyline, in a feud.
Finn deserves another title run.
Finn versus Damian, I think, would be a hell of a match.
Oh, do you know what I just pictured then too? Could you imagine Finn bringing back the demon, but like purple, like Judgment Day demon?
Oh, dude, it would be awesome.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Look,
let's go.
Very exciting. Clash of the Castle. Well done, WWE. Very, very entertaining. Please let us know what you thought of Clash of the Castle. What was your favorite match? What did you predict correctly? What didn't you predict? What was your star rating? What would you give it out of 5?
Head over to our Discord.
Yeah.
Building a community over there. We've got a few guys in there that want to watch us talk about wrestling, put in predictions there.
Yep.
Got-
It's a great place to come chat to us.
Yeah.
You can obviously
Brilliant.
comment on all our YouTube and TikTok videos because we're so good at those.
Check out TikTok. Rowdy, we're up to 600 followers
600
now?
followers now.
600.
I forgot to mention last week we were at 500. Now we're at 600.
And we're getting, I know it's not quite a milestone, but we're close to 150 subscribers on YouTube. We're
Yep.
only a couple away. So
close to
it is
10,000
climbing.
likes on TikTok
Oh,
as well,
mate,
which is
there
pretty
we go.
cool.
10,000 likes. That's
good stuff.
Crushing it.
That's awesome.
Team
But
effort,
thank you
mate.
so much for joining us, all of you who are viewing our videos, liking, sharing, commenting. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Daniel Danielson. Thank you, Rowdy Reece.
Thank
I'm
you,
Booker
Booker
Ted. We're here, Madison Square Garage, Pool Table of Relevancy. That was Down on the Mat podcast for another episode. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Scissor me, Teddy! Boo!